Hey guys, welcome back to the Day and Night podcast. My name is Cody Kleeman.
Freshman Feek, mic check, what it do?
Hey, we back in business.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you told me you had a good week, huh?
Man, I had a great week. I feel like summer's coming alive right now. The only thing I'm upset about this week, the gyms are closed once again. Bro, I was just getting in my stride, getting loose, building back my muscle. You know what I mean? Got my diet popping, and California shuts the gyms back down. I'm highly disappointed about that.
I mean, it's all for the better good. I mean, when people are running and breathing heavily on each other and there's a pandemic happening, like there's the virus is going to spread.
I hear that.
Like wildfire.
But, listen, I hear that. However, my gym situation, when I go to the gym, everybody's wearing a mask. The gym by my house, people wearing gloves on top of their workout gloves. They're wearing latex gloves. I feel like they're taking all the precautions. Keep the gyms open, man. Like, I feel like that's part of an essential business.
An essential business?
Who's to say what's essential?
The gym is an essential business?
Bro, marijuana shops have been open this whole time as essential. You mean to tell me that keeping my physical health, which ties into my mental health, that's not essential?
I mean, I guess
everything is
essential.
Am I tripping on that, or what do you think?
It could be essential. I mean, I feel like everything is essential. Like selling cars, a car is essential. Water is essential. The only real essential thing is food and water. Everything else
to keep you alive
is a want.
That's what I'm saying. So I feel like everything can be classified as essential depending on who you speak to.
Exactly.
Right?
Like an essential could be the bars and clubs. Like we essentially have to have fun.
Like we
essentially have to have fun.
Need to speak to women.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like it's an essential need.
Yeah.
You know?
That's one thing I'm really bugged out about.
So what are you going to do now for exercise?
Go back to my home remedies, my home gym, got my pull-up bar, all dumbbells. I tried to buy dumbbells on Amazon, sold out. Tried to buy some cables, sold out. Like everything is sold out. Since the beginning of quarantine, somebody told me. So, it's wild out here, but now just doing outside sprints in this 99, 105 degree weather. Hopefully I don't pass out.
Well, I mean, I have you on Apple Watch on your fitness tracker.
Oh, you already know.
I will see exactly how your exercise is.
Oh, we popping. We going full schedule, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, like that?
Like that.
You trying to compete?
I'm hot just talking about it.
Just talking about it,
you know what I'm saying? We're going to start the competition, bro.
Hey, it's on. I'm competing right now.
Let's get it. How was your week, though?
Man, it was good. Like it was good. I mean, every week is, just working hard, man. Just working hard, grinding. Just work hard when you're in your 20s and 30s, and everything that you do from your 20s and 30s will kind of progress into if you're going to retire when you're 40, 50, 60.
Facts.
So that kind of sets you up. So right now is the time where I'm going to grind, work as hard as I can.
Laying the bricks down right now.
Exactly. Lay the bricks down so that way when I do reach 40, I'm good. I'm retired. I have my rental properties. I have income coming in and I'm not even doing anything.
Okay.
And that's ultimately the goal, to be financially stable, is to have income coming in and you're not even doing anything.
So like horizontal income, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You can be laying down in your bed, sleeping, but your account's still clocking in them dollars.
Exactly.
I agree.
That's my goal, man. Like I've just been, you work 65 hours a day, however many, or a day, a week, doing whatever you got to do. If you got to work 7 days, do that for 5 years, and then you can enjoy the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's facts. And, now during our age, we both invest in the stock market, have other, investments elsewhere. You want to get to a point where you have multiple streams of revenue.
Assets diversify.
Exactly. That's, most millionaires have multiple streams of revenue where they're not just counting on one source of revenue. If one gets terminated or you get fired or whatever the case is, or one just dries up, an investment goes south, you have other streams of revenue that you can clock on. You know what I mean? So I think it's big for us in our age range, to really focose on that.
Absolutely. And I worked my butt off day in and day out, and I was able to buy a BMW X6.
Hey, turn up.
You feel me?
All day and night, right?
All day and night.
All day and night. That's what I'm talking about.
So it's always cool. It's a cinnamon brown interior. It's pretty nice. I've showed it to you, right?
I think I've seen it once or twice.
Yeah, it's nice. I really enjoy it, and it just gives me that sense of accomplishment of like, okay, this was earned, not given.
Okay.
So it's that sense of accomplishment that if somebody would have given me that BMW, I would have been like, oh, that's cool.
Okay.
It's good. I like my car. But now that I'm able to approach my car and be like, I earned this, it's a totally different Totally different.
Definitely. You want to work hard and you want to reward yourself, and it's like a never-ending loop. Once you reward yourself and you see the accomplishments you can get, once you get in it every day, you notice, oh man, I can get like even more. You know what I mean? So it kind of refuels the fire underneath you. You know what I mean? To keep grinding.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, and then
you were talking about moving, right? I think you were talking about
yeah.
What's
So
up with that?
I've been looking at a couple different apartments, so, like the luxury apartment complexes,
Right.
and I was like deciding, like, should I stay where I'm at, or should I, try and upgrade even more, kind of like I did with my car.
Right.
And and I kind of weighed out everything, and I think like it is like we were talked about. It's motivation. It's knowing, okay, I got this place by myself.
Okay.
I'm able to have independence. I'm able to have friends over. I'm able to do what I want, face different challenges, different tasks, and just experience a different side of life.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think I'm really excited to find the right place and advance.
What gives you an idea of what the right place is? Like, is there something when you go look at these different apartments, different complexes, is there something that needs to be there, or is there something that if it's there, it's an automatic no-go? Like, what catches your eye when you're looking for different places?
Good question. So it'd probably be the amenities. So the things like the pool, the jacuzzi, just the luxury of it. Like, I don't want to just be in like an apartment complex that's 10 apartments and it's run down. It's set 80 years old. I want to be in a new apartment complex where I'm motivated to come home. It's really nice to come home to. I want to come home to something that I can say is my own.
Okay. Now I've seen, looking around at different places, I've seen some places where the amenities are off the charts. Like, they're crazy dope. However, the actual living space, like your apartment, is like, it's kind of small. You know what I mean? It's kind of tight, kind of small. But I've seen other ones where your specific living space is really nice, like so spacious. Bedroom is like the size of 2 bedrooms. You know what I mean? But then the amenities aren't really there. So do you value one over the other?
I mean, to be honest, I'm increasing the budget. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to have the best of both worlds in there.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you got to spend $1,200, $1,400, $1,800, however much it costs, it's the happiness.
Yeah.
I was always like, I want to just save money. I want to save. And now I'm realizing it's not all about money. Now, although money does make the world basically go round, happiness is also very important.
100%.
Being happy is extremely important. And that leads to more money, is when you are happy.
You're more productive
exactly
when you're in a good headspace. And
which
is why I'm upset about the gym, because that puts me in the right headspace. I'm gonna be talking about this for a while, man. I'm a gym head, so yeah.
Well, I mean, still a little weaker than me.
Come on, bro. Stop capping. Why you capping for the audience, bro? That's big cap.
Just make sure they listen to only the audio.
That's big. Facts. Visual says another story.
Yes, exactly. So
that's all good though. You heading up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a process, man. Yeah. You heard about Nick Cannon,
bro. Nick, what's up? What's up with our guy Nick, man?
Man,
that's my brother, man. Shout out to Nick. He got into some hot water this week. We can jump, jump straight into the hot topics. So Nick Cannon this week was fired from Viacom CBS, I think is the company. Viacom owns like MTV, VH1, I think BT as well. I think BT, the owners, sold it to Viacom. So big major, media platform for anti-Semitic comments that he made. Now, the exact comments, I don't have them word for word, but he pretty much said that black people are the true Hebrews and that the Jews, the Ashkenazi Jews, have usurped our identity, something to that effect. And he also said that people without dark skin, he said people without dark skin have a deficiency that historically forced them to be more savage and to act out because of their deficiency, and that's the reason why white people in history have been so violent towards people of color. So of course he got in hot water for those comments, was fired. And Cody, as a white man, how do you feel about those comments, my brother?
I mean, I guess we're all, with this whole, this whole movement and everything that's going on. I guess freedom of speech is,
is key.
It's we're out there. I don't think that maybe he should have been fired. I think he should have been reprimanded. and said, like, look, this is inappropriate. But then again, you do have to think about all the police officers who got fired for what they did. So it's almost in synchronization of the same thing. I mean, there's no problem. He's going to find something else.
Well, did police officers get fired for what they said? Or did they get fired?
They got fired for what they did.
For shooting somebody, right?
So I guess it's a little bit different.
Yeah, freedom of speech stops, Oh, I heard a good quote. Somebody said, your freedom to swing your fist stops at my nose, right? So you have freedom of speech and you have the freedom to do what you want to do, but as soon as it inflicts harm on me, like that's where your freedom ends.
Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me.
I don't know if that applies specifically in this.
I hate that. I absolutely hate that thing.
Really?
That line.
Why?
Because I feel like wording, like
can hurt too.
That can really affect somebody's well-being, like of things that you say. You're permanently scarred.
Yeah.
Like when you're in high school or even, junior high and people are saying things to you, oh, you got acne, pimple face, volcano. Like that's that stuff that sticks with you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But so where do you draw the line on free speech? Is it the intent? Like, so in those examples you're giving right now, those people are intending to hurt you, right? They're intending to, calling you ugly or whatever. You got pimple face, acne face. Those people are intentionally trying to hurt you. Whereas Nick Cannon, I think I didn't watch the exact interview that he had with Professor Griff, who is used to be a member of Public Enemy. I think he got kicked out too. They weren't trying to hurt anybody. They were like talking on like a historical level and stuff like that, trying to be knowledgeable, of course. And apparently they said some comments that they're not rooted in historical fact. You know what I mean? And they got fired, and he got fired for that. So are those two examples the same? Like where does freedom of speech? Where do you draw the line?
I think freedom of speech draws the line between hatred and making insults verbally, like saying verbal remarks of what you're going to do, or I mean that is drawing the line of what I'm going to do to you, like I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, like that's just not necessary. But voicing your opinion, kind of how we do and how we say how we feel based off of how we've been brought up, based off of who we've been around. I think your thoughts, you can say how you feel, but don't say it in a mean demeanor of like just an insultive manner. So insulting somebody
the intent
is just
again. So
intent.
We're going back to the intent.
Intent.
So if you
with your intent to harm somebody, like I can say like, oh, this is how I feel towards Black Lives Matter. This is how I feel towards this, but I'm not saying those people are idiotic. Those people are stupid for believing those ways.
Right. I agree with that. Freedom of speech is one of the best tools that our founding fathers of America put in America, and apparently even first world countries across the pond in UK, like they don't have freedom of speech. If you say something that people
over, you're either arrested.
You can get
killed.
arrested for just speaking. You know what I mean? So that's something that we have here that sometimes we take for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like we can say, fuck Trump. You know what I mean, and not be arrested for it. But over there, if you say something like that
it's over
to their leadership, like that, you can get really reprimanded for that. So, but with that, relating that to Nick Cannon, I also don't believe he should have been fired from, even though I don't know if he was fired per se. I know Viacom owns the rights to his show Wild 'N Out. You know the show Wild 'N Out, right? Hilarious show.
That's how we got famous. And then he went to AGT, America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Which I love that show. Have you watched it?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the beginning of how he got famous. He has been doing that show for a while, but Nick Cannon used to, he used to rap.
Like do
music. He gets clowned for his music all the time, but he's if you think about it, he's really talented, bro. Music,
from
acting. He had a Drumline. He put out hits, bro. Drumline. What's the one where he had Christina Milian? Bro, what's one of my favorite movie? What's Love Got to Do with it? I don't know. Forgive me for not remembering, but yeah, I think no, Love Don't Cost a Thing. There we go. Love Don't Cost a Thing.
Gotcha.
Drumline, but yeah, he's super talented, but
this I feel like really kind of affected him. Like he was even.
I agree.
His friend even. I don't know if it related with what happened, but his friend took his life, and Nick even tweeted saying, "Oh well, peace out, Earth. Like you guys can do what you got to do." So basically, almost like a sign of like, okay, I'm gonna commit suicide because I can't overcome this problem and my reputation and things of that sort.
Yeah.
So it affected him, and that's why he had the video up on his podcast that he did, and he took down the video.
Eventually took down the video,
apologized, but then he was getting backlash from people saying, "Oh, you're too weak," and this, and just getting all
Yeah,
these bad
that's
comments.
crazy. He got backlash for making the comments, and then got backlash for
apologizing.
apologizing from people who think he didn't say anything wrong.
And then there was other people who were saying he shouldn't have to apologize. So it's kind of like what's
You damned if you do, damned if you don't.
exactly. It's a no-win situation.
Yeah, but I think Fox didn't fire him. So Fox, he has that show on Fox, The Masked Singer.
Yes,
I've never seen it.
I haven't either.
Not my style. But Fox didn't fire him. Fox just put out a statement. You know, he's sorry, deeply sorry. He didn't intend to hurt anybody, but he understands what he said was not true and it was hurtful. Even though he didn't intend to be hurtful, he knows that it was hurtful. And the fact that he's learning, you know, he's speaking to rabbis now and learning why exactly his comments were anti-Semitic.
He's Muslim too, right?
Nick Cannon?
Yeah.
I don't.
He wears a turban.
Think so. He wears a turban. I don't think he's Muslim. But yeah, I don't think so.
Oh.
He probably studies, the teachings of Elijah Muhammad or Malcolm X or like the nation. He probably studies the nation of Islam heavy. But I don't know if you would consider himself a Muslim. Yeah, who knows about that? But yeah, man. So we'll see what happens. Diddy said that if Viacom wants to fire him, Diddy wants him to bring Wild 'N Out to Revolt TV. Diddy says that's 100% black owned, you know what I mean? Where, we're not going to punish you for, for just speaking your mind or whatever the case is. But Nick Cannon doesn't own Wild 'N Out. Viacom owns Wild 'N Out. So
maybe he'll change it.
Yeah.
Out
and wild. The thing about that is lawyers, they draft up them contracts real strict. So if you do a show even similar to that, I don't care what the name is. If you have different, branding or whatever, they'll come. They're gonna come. They're gonna come after you for sure.
What else you got for us?
Intellectual property. What else we got today? Hot topics. Did you hear about Rondo just got injured?
Bro, that's unbelievable.
So that's another point guard.
Bro, I heard that. That's just that's kind of like. Do you remember that one time when Swaggy P got injured during practice and he was out for a while?
I don't remember because we weren't planning on winning a championship regardless, so it made no difference.
But Rondo, and he looked really solid,
bro,
too.
Buff.
He looked buff, he was training, he was putting in mad work. And to me personally, my thoughts and opinions on that is when somebody gets injured during practice, they're not properly preparing, they're not stretching, they're not.
No, it's his finger though. I think he broke or pulled a ligament in his thumb.
When's the last time you saw Kobe or LeBron or a main thing do something during practice and break their bone during a practice?
I mean, you bring up a good point.
When has LeBron or Kobe ever said, "Oh yeah, I broke my finger during practice and I'm out for 6 weeks"? You'll never hear that from a superstar because they know how to play during practice. So I consider that improper and inadequate preparation.
That's an interesting take. I never thought about it like that. I'm trying to think of a situation where, I'm sure there's been some stars that, not to the extent right before the playoffs, you get hurt and you're out 6 weeks, but yeah.
I'm sure he'll be back in time for,
he will be,
for playoffs.
We're going to make a big run. We're going to be, minimum, we're going to the Western Conference Finals.
I got the Lakers all the way.
And that's 6 to 8 weeks. We'll be there. He'll be back before the Western Conference Finals, I think, for sure.
Rondo in his prime was unbelievable.
Bro, and playoff Rondo.
Celtic Rondo was the most amazing assist person.
You knew he wasn't even shooting the ball, and you couldn't stop him.
And you couldn't. You didn't know where he wasn't even looking at the person that he was passing.
I think that goes into the offense, too. They ran a great offense. The coach, Doc Rivers. Yeah.
Amazing
great
coach.
Offense. They had the perfect pieces. Kevin Garnett with the high post.
Unbelievable.
Jump shot silky.
Lakers lost so many times to those Celtics. Kobe would have had 10 rings already.
Bro, he could have three-peated again.
Over and over, but he always lost to the Lakers.
Yeah.
To the Celtics.
Yeah.
I don't know. They always had that one up on them. And it would be whether it was a game 7, game 6, they always had that one up.
Yeah.
And you got Ray Allen, Allen's sharp shooting skills. You had Garnett, you had all these amazing athletes that were all packed on one team, and they had Kobe and Shaq.
You know what sucks though? They only won 1 ring. So that Celtics team, or that Celtics dynasty.
No.
Yes.
Really?
1 ring, bro.
No, they didn't.
09.
Really?
010, Lakers came back and smacked them.
Really?
The next, no. Was it? I know they beat the Lakers. The Lakers came back and 1 year beat the Celtics, and then the next year beat Orlando. Remember, we had the Magic when Dwight Howard's there.
Interesting.
Yeah, we got back to, but they only got one ring, bro. Which is crazy.
Crazy.
They should have had
I
way
thought
more.
They won like 4. I thought they won a lot more.
They went to 2 back to back. They won the first one against the Lakers, and then they lost the second one against the Lakers. And then we went back again, but we played Orlando.
Interesting. Yeah, and also Avery Bradley isn't going to be playing. Also, he opted out because of his son.
That's right.
Had the medical condition. He didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, I think asthma or some type of either a respiratory disease illness, or autoimmune disease that he didn't want to get his son, risk it, which I agree with him. But he was thinking about not playing before that because of, the Black Lives Matter protest. A lot of players were saying, you know what, us playing right now is going to draw too much attention away from the movement. We have a lot of attention right now, and we should harness that and not cause another distraction to divert from the message. So a lot of players were talking about that. Dwight Howard was thinking about not playing because of that too.
But then at the end of the day,
he decided to come
back. Everybody came back because they know Dwight Howard knows if he didn't play, he wasn't going to get rehired because he was unemployed. He's on a 1-year deal, I think, right? Yeah, he was unemployed for I think a year or two for a while.
No, yeah, for sure. He bounced away.
I think it was honestly very strategic of the Lakers to get Dwight Howard when he was unemployed, because it made Dwight realize he's not unstoppable and not everybody wants him. He's not the most desired player. It made him take a step back and be like, hey, I need to really
play your role.
I need to play my role and bring back the OG, the original Dwight Howard.
Facts.
So that way I can do that. And ever since he was unemployed and he came back, totally new man.
Yeah, I heard somebody say the Dwight that we have right now, the way he's playing right now, is the way Kobe wanted him to play when he was in LA the first time, which is true. But you can't really expect, like, the reason he's playing like this right now is because he's bounced around the league.
Those life-changing events change you.
Exactly. But before, he was just coming off going to the finals in Orlando. You know what I mean? He was like defensive player of the year, like twice, 3 times. I don't know the exact number of stats, but he was dominant on the defensive end. One of the best center at the same time. He just came off I was one of the ones who defended Dwight when Lakerland was trashing him, like, yo, you're a bum. You know what I'm saying? After he left, and I'm like, yo, he just came off of back surgery, first season that he played with us. Like, the doctors told him, do not play. You need to wait at least, maybe sit out this whole year or sit out at least half the year. Dwight said, I want to play from the back. And you could tell he was all stiff, couldn't even move. You know what I mean? But Laker fans are harsh, man. We don't give a fuck.
We don't, man. You got to
you're on a court,
you're on one of the most legendary teams that have ever
with Kobe.
With Kobe, the best player to ever play the game.
And pushes through anything. He'll have 5 broken fingers.
And he'll tape them up and still shoot the ball and score 60 points.
And shoot with the left or something like that. So
with the left.
You know what I mean?
I remember that.
So I think a reason why Dwight wanted to come back was to erase those memories from Lakerland.
Exactly.
Because LA is a big market. Like, when he's retired, he wants to come back here, do business here. You want that love from
Reputation
the city.
is everything.
Yeah, you want that Laker love from the city. That's going to open doors for you to get Hollywood deals and all that.
We all need those life-changing events to basically change you as a person, change how you look at life. And that actually can bring me to my next topic of some life-changing events.
Okay. Talk about it.
We've all been through life-changing events. And those life-changing events, obviously, it's word for word, life-changing events.
Right.
What are some things that have kind of shaped and developed you to be the person that you have become?
Great question. I would have to say, I would have to give that a lot of thought. But one off the top of my head would have to be when I was that 13 or 15? One of the first times I went back home to Tanzania. My mom and dad are, for the listeners listening, my mom and dad are from Tanzania, Zanzibar, an island called Zanzibar to be exact. My mom came here. I was born here, raised here, so I've been in LA all my life, but I go back to Africa, every summer, every other summer. But the first time that I remember, I think it was like 2007, so however old I was, do the math, I'm 28 now. When I was in 2007, I went back, and it changed my life because that was the first time I realized how much we take our regular life here for granted. Like, I was staying with my cousins out there, and, everyday life is so simple there. We don't have all these, technological stuff where we watch TV all day and you want to drive street, go to McDonald's and stuff like that. Like, all this stuff, the remedial stuff we do here, like my people back home, would kill to be here.
Consider it a luxury.
A luxury. All the stuff that we like, man, I got a 2-year-old iPhone. We be throwing it around, trashing it. They'd kill for that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Kill figuratively. But that changed my life, and it made, when I came back, I feel like I kept that lesson throughout my life, and I treated people nicer. Everybody's so nice in Africa, just the hospitality. When people talk about Southern hospitality here, like everybody, like your neighbors are so nice and everything like that. That's how I felt over there. Like it's a lot more community oriented.
How long were you there for?
That time, I used to stay longer when I was younger. When I went, like maybe 2 months at a time. But I'm not gonna lie, I would get homesick. So nowadays, when I go back, the tops I stay is about 3 weeks, 4 weeks tops. Cause I used to stay like 2.5 months, like the whole summer. When we were in grade school, we'd have 3 months off until we go back to school. So I spend the whole 3-month summer in Africa, 2.5 months or whatever the case is. But now when I go back, I stay about a month or so. But that trip, I remember it was the first time as a teenager, kind of adult-ish, when I went back, and I just remembered, like us in America, like we have a blessing and opportunity to make great of our life, and I just cherished it, and it changed my life. Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that, it seems like that is definitely up there.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that kind of like
I'd have to give it some thought. What about you? What do you think?
Honestly, I actually had 2 life-changing events.
Okay.
My first one would have to be working at Foot Locker. So I worked at Foot Locker for about 3.5 years, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I used to be, surprisingly enough, I'm sure it will definitely surprise you, I was very quiet in high school. I was not the best looking kid. I had acne.
Now, that didn't change.
Hey.
But quiet though? You used to be quiet?
I was quiet.
That changed.
I was quiet. I always ate my lunch by myself.
Really?
I didn't talk to anybody.
Bro, that's wild.
I had no friends. I was that one loner in high school, and I had acne. I was not good looking. I got like C's.
You glowed up for sure.
Yeah. So after I was, that's kind of how I was, and I had no hobbies. I just literally would just go home. I even literally, at a point in time, if you even asked my parents, I came and I told them, look, I don't want to go to school anymore. Because I'm not.
This is high school, right? Still
in high school, like I'm not. I don't have any friends. They're making fun of me, and it was miserable. It just was not. It wasn't. I wasn't happy at all. And then ever since then, blessed my mom. She blessed me with the whole dermatology aspect, and we took Accutane, and that was another life-changing event. Okay. And it was very intense. Like, it got rid of all my acne. It got rid of my skin. My skin looks 100 times better.
Really?
I'm doing the chemical peels. I was doing. There was even.
How long did it take from like the worst point from when you started that and then?
Oh, my face was so bad. Like, I'm talking, my whole face was bad. I say probably about a year.
It took a year from when you started using the products to
doing that. I was even doing it where I was putting coffee grounds on my face.
The reason I ask how long is because a lot of teens go through severe acne. How do you know for sure it was the products that did it, or it was just your teenage years and then you were just phasing out of it?
I'm 100%. 100%. I was putting acid on my face. I was taking pills. I was trying everything.
Yeah.
And long story short, once I got that taken care of, I got my first job. Well, my first main job, which was at Foot Locker. And it was crazy how I got hired. I was just walking the mall. I saw a bunch of Foot Locker uniforms on. And I saw people there, and I asked them, "Oh, what's going on?" And they're like, "Oh, we're hiring, but you had to have an appointment to get here." And my mom finessed, and she's like, "Please, can you please give my son an appointment?" And then soon enough from there,
shout out to mom.
Hey, shout out to mom.
That's dope.
That's dope. She hooked me up.
I like that.
Went for an interview, and the guy Brian Hines, he asked me one question. Oh, what school do you go to? And then from then on, he had a whole list of questions. We diverged off, talked about cars, talked about sports, talked about all that stuff. After about an hour, the head boss came over to me and was like, "Hey, what's going on?" He told me, "Hey, when can you work for me on the spot?"
The boss said that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And he's like, "When can you work for me?" I got hired.
So it's because that you built the rapport with Brian? that
Correct.
the boss saw that rapport you built with him and then felt comfortable giving
And
you
both
the
of them
job.
were like, okay, and I was like, hey, I got a trip to Hawaii, so I can come
100%.
after that, you know?
100%.
Not only did it change my personality, it also made me create friends. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any personality. I didn't have any hobbies. It made my hobby be shoes and sneakers. So now I have an extreme passion for sneakers. I have a hobby for that. So that was a life-changing event. My other life-changing event was studying abroad in Germany.
Okay.
I've traveled to over 30 countries. I've traveled to over 100 cities. Lived abroad in another country, and that was probably the biggest blessing.
And when did you go to Germany? That was in high school, right? That was in college?
That was in college.
Okay.
So in college, I
spent
studied
a year.
abroad and a year,
Okay.
and that was
That's dope.
That was
that?
that was the most life-changing event. I was so blessed to have the experience. It was the first time I was living on my own.
Well, let's back up. So for people, we probably have people listening that might want to do that. How did you even, like, how did that opportunity even come about? Like, how did you find out that you could do that? How did you apply to do that? Yeah,
so what I was doing is I was on my way to the SRC, which is the Student Recreation Center, which is the gym at CSUN.
Right.
And I had seen a sign that said study abroad. And I was like, damn, that would be actually kind of cool. So I walked in and I showed them, like, I was like, oh, can I study abroad? And they handed me pamphlets. And then I was looking at all the countries, and you had to take like a year or two of the language course in order to get it. And Germany was the only place that you only had to take a half a semester. So I took a half a semester at another university of German. And German is my background and my heritage, and I always want to learn about my heritage and things of that sort.
Facts,
so
yeah.
I had to go through a really long and hard process, and long story short, I had to take 3 courses in Germany to equivalent to 1 in America.
Wow.
So that's kind of how the education system was.
Now, was that the only prerequisite you had to do? Or did your GPA have to meet a certain GPA, or?
Yeah, you had to have a GPA of, I think, 3.0 or something of that sort. So you did have to have a certain GPA.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
All right, so you get the opportunity to go. How do you prepare before you go out there? What do you do? What are you thinking of?
I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty scared. I was scared to leave my hometown, my friends, my life that I was living, and literally not see my family for a year. Not just
that's scary.
Completely changed my lifestyle for an entire year.
Not really know the language either.
Not really know the language.
You took the classes, because I took French in high school 2 years. I couldn't hold a conversation.
Yeah, so that was kind of the really hard thing. I was so nervous, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was shitting bricks. I was really nervous, but I stepped up. I was like, no, I need change. I need change. Change is healthy. So I changed. I found a place in Nerdingen. It's basically me and 2 cows out there in the middle of Germany.
Your roommates are 2 cows?
Yes. I had like nobody out there.
Yeah, the outskirts. It wasn't Stockholm. Stockholm is like the main, is the capital, or am I thinking? No, I'm thinking of Sweden. What's the capital of Germany?
Bro.
Stockholm is Sweden. I have an aunt. Shout out to my aunt that's in Stockholm.
Hey,
Sweden.
bro, it's Berlin.
Berlin, really?
Berlin is the capital of Germany.
Damn, I'm thinking of Stockholm, Sweden.
You got a college degree?
I do.
Oh, you're tripping.
Dude, baby.
So yeah, so then I stayed out there, and then I stayed in a small city for a little while. I couldn't take it anymore. I needed to step outside and see people. So then I transitioned to moving to a larger village. Well, it was a city, but moved there.
Still like rural still?
Yeah, kind of like rural. It's called Stuttgart.
Mm-hmm.
And so beautiful, bro. It was such a change, but it made me appreciate, not more or less appreciate, but just be so like thankful of, like, it's just different people out there. Like, it's very hard to get into people's circle out there. They're very large soccer fans. They're all about soccer. They're all about sports and just soccer.
Right.
Well, they call it football.
Football, of course.
But
football.
Yeah. But that is their sport. They live and die by football.
Even in Africa, bro. Everywhere except America. Football runs the world.
Literally, it runs the world.
Facts.
Out there. Like, when the World Cup is on, they shut down supermarkets. I was out there during it wasn't the World Cup. It was
FIFA.
I don't know. What was it?
one
one of the competitions. Yeah. And I was
probably
out there.
to qualify for the World Cup, because they have tournaments to qualify for.
Something of that sort. Yeah. And it was Germany versus Italy, and they won the penalty kick. And literally they shut down all the bars had TVs, all of the. I mean, it was literally
It's like
they
a
shut down grocery
community event.
stores.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's dope.
How
That's dope though. I like events that connect the entire community because it doesn't matter what politics you're going through or like situations with the government or everything.
Commonality.
It's something that touches everybody. Everybody can sit down together. Whether strangers will high five each other if they're rooting for the same team. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like that for sure.
Yeah, it's great, and I was really enjoying that, and I just traveled, Greece, Rome, Italy, like I traveled to all these different countries, Iceland, I just every country I was just like, let me go here. I had money saved up,
Right.
and I spent it all, and I was blessed to have that money available.
Yeah.
But it was such a blessing, man. Like
That's dope, man.
like people always say, oh wow, so many countries. What was your favorite place? And honestly, I can't really pick a favorite place because every place I went to has something to offer.
Offer something different.
Yeah. Santorini, Greece, beautiful view.
Yeah.
Beautiful view. Rome, amazing history. Germany had amazing history. The history of Germany was incredible. I love learning about my culture. I met family members I had never met before.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I didn't even know.
How'd you find them?
My Oma, is German for grandma. She told me, oh, you have a relative out there, and I stayed with them. It was super cool.
But your grandma lives out here or lives in Germany?
Yeah, my grandma lives out here.
Gotcha.
And she told me about a couple, and they were so happy. And people in Germany in general, they just love Americans. They love Americans. They love speaking English. I would be like...
That's everywhere, though.
Yeah.
I mean, not everywhere, but I've been to a lot of places in Europe. I've been to Norway. I've been to London. UK is a little tricky, but I've been to Norway. I've been to Sweden. I've been to Africa. Like, they love Americans.
They really do.
They love our culture. They
Except
love
France.
us. I was gonna mention France, but I held back. For some reason, I don't know why they don't really fuck with us like that. But
they
think we're arrogant and stuck up.
I don't know, but
I don't blame them because a lot of us are arrogant and stuck up.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I don't blame them for that.
It was crazy because I literally said like, oh, parlez-vous anglais, which is like, do you speak English and French? The guy literally said in perfect English, no, I don't speak any English, and walked away. Like, bro,
damn.
I went to McDonald's and said, can I have a number 2 or can I have burger with fries? They said next. I was like,
they say we don't have time for your Google Translate. You know what I mean?
Bro,
we're not translating nothing.
It's
That's
crazy.
hilarious.
It's crazy. But yeah,
but that was life changing for you.
It was a life changing event, man. I was so blessed to have that opportunity, and that changed me as a person. I'm able to build commonalities with people. I know what their culture. I know what they look like. I know what they, it's easier for me to build a bond. And man, I can't understand. I mean, you've traveled also, but traveling to over 30 countries and over 100 cities by myself. Like, I traveled to all those places by myself.
Yeah. So that really gets you
my
secure with yourself. Yeah, I agree.
Staying at hostels, sometimes staying at hotels, getting lost on trains, going the wrong direction.
100%.
I went the wrong direction on a train because I fell asleep on it, and I had to sleep on a hard table in an airport where it was totally not safe at all, and I slept on a table with my arm in my backpack, and my pillow was my suitcase. And I had to sleep there, and it was at a Starbucks table, and they woke me up at 7 a.m. and said, "Hey, you gotta go." It was almost like I was a homeless person.
Damn! So you got that experience too.
I got that experience, and I ended up going to Switzerland and skiing down the mountain and stuff. I could talk about this all.
That's dope.
I could talk about this for hours, man.
That's dope. That's dope. I mean, yeah, that goes to show you that a lot of people I know out here haven't even been on a plane, let alone travel outside the country. And going to taking a trip to Vegas, if you're from LA, taking a trip to New York and stuff like that. It's cool. That does give you a sense of, seeing other parts of the country, seeing other parts of the world, but there's nothing like going somewhere international with a different culture, not just a different, language, but a different culture, like Eastern Europe, Africa, South America. It really resonates with how humans connect with each other, like we're this super fast lifestyle that we live in here, like we we connect with each other on a deeper level, and like traveling internationally really opens that door for you, and it changes how you move afterwards, like how you interact with people. It really changes how you carry yourself after. So so I agree, like that is definitely big.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, man.
Yeah.
It was such a blessing, and just imagine waking up every day being happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
No worries. I mean, I had to go to school and stuff,
Yeah,
but
I was gonna ask you about that. Was the schooling hard? Because you don't really know the language.
well, the
like
education system is a lot different. So, you don't have any homework, you don't have any tests, you don't have any exams. You take one exam, and it's a final exam, and that determines your entire grade.
I don't know if I like that.
It was I didn't really like it. I mean, I think they just kind of gave me a pass because I was American.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because ain't no way you passed them classes in German, and you had to take the test in German.
No.
You took it in English.
I took it in. They
oh, okay.
All the courses were in English.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I could vibe with that. Yeah, that would be tough though. I mean, I'm not in school anymore, but I was always a good test taker. So I like when we take a lot of tests, a lot of quizzes, break it down so I don't have to, cram a whole bunch of information into one. But if you break it up into like 7 to 10 tests per course, I'm great on that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna ace all of them.
I got the last. I gotta end with the would you rather. All right, I got a good one for you.
Go ahead.
Would you rather change something in your past, or would you rather know your future?
Huh. Can I change my future?
That was a very long pause.
Can I change my future though? You said I think your question was, would I rather know my future or change my past, right?
Yeah.
Can I change my future? Like, can I determine my future or just know what it is?
Well, you would know what it is, therefore you would have the ability to change it.
Well, I think everybody would pick that one then, because why go back and change your past if you can dictate your future, But if the question was, would you rather just know your future with no ability to change it, like you just know how your life is going to play out, or you can change your past? I think that's a more difficult question to answer. That one.
Honestly, man, I think I would rather know my future, so that way I can. I mean, I wouldn't really want to even know my future. I wouldn't even really want to change something in my past because I feel everything in my past has shaped me to be the person I am today.
Right.
And everything that's going to happen in the future is going to be a result of what's happening in the present.
True. I would say I wouldn't like to change my past, not in terms of those events that you're talking about, but I would like to change my past in terms of the things that I did that hurt other people or affected other people. If there was a way for me to still, because even those situations where I hurt other people, I learned a lesson from it, not to do it again. What I did, like if it wasn't intentional, I learned, oh, wow, what I did here, I didn't intend to do it, but the consequence of it resulted in this person getting hurt or something bad happening. I would want to change what I did but still keeping the lesson that I learned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point because those moments, and I have those moments along with, I'm sure everybody else has those moments as well, right. Is those moments where you're like, wow, I can't believe I just did that or said that, and that changed you as a person, but you had severe consequences for it.
Facts.
And, we're both thinking of something in our mind right now, and I think now that we've kind of talked about it, I think I would change something in my past rather than know my future.
Yeah, and now, we're not saying change your past in terms of like, oh, I wish, I would have answered this question right on a test or something like that. Things that would affect our life. I don't think we're talking about that. I would change something that I did.
What's something that you would have changed?
Something like somebody else.
Give me one example. One thing that I wish I would have changed. I wish I would have joined a fraternity throughout the year. Although
I don't think I would.
No?
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I shouldn't.
I mean, I just don't. Like,
I think maybe an event that I maybe did. I mean, honestly, I'm happy with what I did in my past.
Yeah.
I think maybe some things would like, I don't really know what I would change. Do you know what you would change?
Nothing that I can say on camera. But
that's a safe thing, Loki.
Nothing I can say on camera, but I'll sum it up in the same umbrella. Day Night Exclusive. Maybe, if we make a Patreon, we might tell you on a Patreon episode. That's still in the works. However, I'll throw it into the same umbrella. I would change things that maybe affected other people more than it affected myself, but the things that I did wrong, dumb mistakes that I made that affected me, I learned from those, you know what I mean? And they shaped me to who I am. So I wouldn't change those. But things that I did that unnecessarily hurt somebody else or affected somebody else,
I would learn the lesson. Exactly.
But try to change that as well.
I would learn the lesson, but change what I said.
Yes.
So basically have it written down in a book so I could basically read it and be like, oh, don't do this.
Facts.
Or learn from somebody else, but not have that happen to that person or that person.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because knowing your future, that kind of takes the fun away from life. You know what I mean? Like the uncertainty of life is not knowing what lies ahead, which makes you grind because you want to aspire to things that are coming up.
Because if I know I'm gonna win the lottery, I'm not gonna work. I'm gonna sit on my butt. I'm not gonna do anything.
Facts, because on March 27th, 2045, I'm winning the lottery. So I'm about to bum it out this whole time.
Exactly. So
it takes away the fire under you to make it.
Exactly. So and if I would have known I won the lottery, in 2-3 years, I'm not gonna work in my job.
Facts.
I'm gonna chill, play basketball, survive.
Facts.
And me grinding, me doing those things, has changed me as a person.
Yeah.
And I would have never done those things.
That's a fact.
If I was in college and if I was in the beginning years of college and I knew I was going to win the lottery in 3-4 years, I wouldn't have studied abroad. I wouldn't have worked at Foot Locker. I wouldn't have got my college degree. I wouldn't have got any of that. I would have dropped out. And I wouldn't have had that
studied abroad,
experience.
though? Even with knowing you're going to win the lottery, you wouldn't have studied
But I wouldn't
abroad?
have been in that mindset. Because the reason I studied abroad was because I needed change. So I wouldn't have been able to do all the things that I have done.
Right.
So changing your past, but still learning the lesson would be my answer to that question.
Okay. No, I like that, man. You let us know in the comments, short answers. What would you rather do? Know your future or change your past? You can't confuse those two things. Knowing your future, you can't change it. Just know it, or changing your past. Let us know what y'all think.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. That's another great episode, Day and Night Podcast. Please, please, please like and subscribe. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you consume the content, go ahead and do that. And we love y'all, man. And tap into the comments section. Let us know. Give us feedback. And we love y'all, man. We'll see y'all next week.
Day and night.
Day and night, baby. Boom.